This is 2 Minutes Together, a ministry of Central Lutheran Church, Eugene, Oregon. I'm Pastor Ben. This week in our gospel lesson, we have the scene in the beginning of the Gospel of Luke when Jesus goes into the synagogue, picks up the scroll of Isaiah, reads a portion, and in so doing, in essence, displays that Jesus is Messiah. The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, and the Lord has anointed me, Messiah, anointed. And set the day of the Lord's favor to preach good news to the poor, release the captives. There's a lot going on in this passage. And then Jesus says, and this has now been fulfilled in your hearing. I'd like to look at this action. It's rare that we have the action so clearly discussed like this, where why does Jesus go and deliberately pick up the Torah scroll and read it in their hearing? He could have just said, if his goal was to say that he is Messiah, he could have just said that. Or if he wanted to say, well, you all know that Isaiah knew about Messiah coming, and I'm saying that's happened. Jesus obviously knew the material, because to have a whole scroll, to be able to find a section, you have to really know where it is. So why does he read? And I ask that because why do we read? What is it about that invites us into something larger? Because I think it changes the tone and character of what we're doing. When we go and we grab a hymnal or a Bible and we deliberately look at it. Sometimes we even deliberately look at that when we in fact know the text itself. I would posit many of you will know the first chapter of the Gospel of John. In the beginning was the Word was with God, but we still read it. And I don't think that's just because we don't trust our memories, but instead because texts, especially sacred texts, we recognize are bringing something beyond ourselves into space. It recognizes that there is something larger going on. It's not just me. It's been here this whole time. The texts, in many ways, are community. Paul, in his letters, wrote his letters because he said, these letters are a replacement for what I wish I could do, which is to actually be there in person. But they have the idea that something of Paul was really there. Jesus reads this and says, something of Isaiah is really here. We read this about Jesus and saying something of Jesus is really here, which remains true now every time we look at this text. This is 2 Minutes Together. I'm Pastor Ben.